Hello and welcome to Ryno's Orioles Report. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Well, this weekend series up in Toronto really showed us something. They showed us what it's like when a team is really bad, not really playing for anything except for spoiler, and what a team plays like that's winning their division and has a really good shot to win a few games in the postseason. Yeah. Somewhat disappointing to see that the Orioles go, 8-1 against the Padres, the Dodgers, and then the Pirates, and then lay a damn egg up there in Toronto. Nothing. I mean, they scored a few runs, but no wins. No wins. Barely had the lead for any of the games. Well, that just, yeah. Let's get right to it. You see them on here on MASNsports.com. Let's get to game one. Orioles 1, Toronto Blue Jays 6. Yeah, 6. You can see the trend that you really notice here is not good defense being played. You see a few errors in this game. Orioles didn't necessarily have an error in every game, but and a few unmade plays anyway. You see, for the most part, the Orioles starters holding down the Toronto Blue Jays lineup, and then the bullpen giving it away. Holiday hit an RBI, also walked once. Jeremiah Jackson 0 for 3 strikeouts. Not that great of a series offensively for Jeremiah Jackson. Had a few nice plays defensively. Really coming around in that department. Henderson 0 for with a walk. Mountcastle 0 for. Dylan Beavers 1 hit. Also walked once. Tyler O'Neill. Yes, welcome back to Tyler O'Neill in your home country. Good job. I guess that's why he finally decided to play. 0 for with a walk. Colton Cowser 0 for. Samuel Basallo 1 hit. Manuel Rivera 0 for. Yeah, not great. Basallo, the only extra base hit, a double. Jackson Holiday stole a base. Yeah, congratulations. You're up to 17. Good job. Throwing errors by Rivera and Colton Cowser. Now, Colton Cowser flat out missed the ball. Just flat out missed a ball in the outfield. A ground ball. Okay, it was in a hole. Yeah, missed it. Craziness. Emmanuel Rivera with a throwing error. Now, while they do call it an error, they didn't actually make it an unearned run, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But to a certain extent, I guess the scorekeeper felt like the runner would have been safe at first. The error is throwing it away and allowing the runner to move up a base. But because of the double hit a little bit later, they say, oh, he would have scored from first. Okay. If that's what you believe, then that is what you believe. I don't agree with you, but that's fine. Trevor Rogers gets a start in this game. Yeah, only able to go 5 innings. Has some kind of toe issue. They didn't say it was an ingrown toenail. And they didn't say that it was some kind of toenail blister that's like really, really under the toenail. It's just kind of rubbing on the side of the skin. I don't know. He said he's kind of been dealing with it for a bit. It's not the first time that he's had to deal with this, but it did kind of affect him a little bit. It did affect his command a bit. Only throwing 79 pitches, but stumbling there. So 79 pitches, getting through the 5 innings, which is very nice. He still had a relatively good outing. It just, his command did struggle a bit. As I said, 5 full innings pitched, does give up 3 hits, the 1 run, unearned run, 4 walks, which is, you can see that's where the command's coming into play there. 6 strikeouts. So even Trevor Rogers at like 75% is winnable. The bullpen screwed it up as they have. Actually, they really haven't screwed too much up in September. Overall, since the trade deadline, yeah, they've kind of blown up several games, but not so much in September. Now they have. Dietrich ends, first man out of the pen, pitching 1 1/3, so the full 6 and then 1 out into the 7th, giving up 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, and no strikeouts. Yeah, not a good outing for ends there. Sean Dubin, next man out of the pen, finishing off the 7th inning and pitching the full 8th inning. You're on the road, so you only got to cover 8 innings as a pitching staff. Giving up 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, and only 1 strikeout. Not great there. Get to game 2. This is probably the most winnable game, but again, the bullpen blows it late. Baltimore Orioles 4, Toronto Blue Jays 5. You can see a big 3 spot here in the 9th inning. Yeah. You went into the bottom of the 9th inning 4-2, and you fucked it up. That's what happens when you trade away half your damn bullpen, and then you get another guy hurt. Not that you haven't had any other injuries in the bullpen all year. It's just not great. Not great. Not at all. Partly because you have so many other spots where their play is elevated. And to have games that they should win, feel good about themselves, taken away because you got rid of all your damn bullpen arms. All of them. Soto and Dominguez and Brian Baker and Andrew Kittredge. And then Batista gets hurt, which, yeah, I don't really like saying it, but at the same time, I told you so. All right, let's get to this game. Fairly good offensive game. Well, for some people. Holiday hitting a walk. Dylan Beavers moved up in the lineup to second, which I don't know how I like the fact that 3 straight lefties, but you had a righty starter on the mound, Max Scherzer, so I guess the Orioles felt they could get away with it. Well, I guess Toronto pitching had other ideas. Beavers 0 with 3 strikeouts. Henderson 2 hits and an RBI. O'Neill hitting an RBI. Basayo hitting an RBI. Emmanuel Rivera 0. Colton Cowser 0. Dylan Carlson 0. Kobe Mayo 2 hits and an RBI. Okay, nice to see Kobe Mayo hitting. Henderson and Basayo with doubles and Mayo with a home run. Mayo was this extra 1 here in the 9th inning with solo shot. Got an insurance run. You even got an insurance run. And you still fucked it up. Douchebags. Henderson stolen base. Holiday caught stealing 11. He's up to 11 caught stealings now. That's not great. That's not. You're 17 for 28. That's no. Can't say that that's good ratio. It's not at all. Aiken with a throw in error. Basayo with catcher's interference. Yeah. Happened in the same inning too. Blowing it. Sagano got hit on the foot again. The other foot this time. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. It was relatively early, maybe in the middle of his outing. Around the 3rd inning. I honestly don't remember what the hell inning it was. Around the 3rd-ish inning. So, yeah, Sagano was able to push through it. Pitched fairly well. Able to go 6 full innings, only 63 pitches. Wow. Just wow. And you lost this damn game. Worthless bastards. Just worthless bastards. Again, I said it's 6 innings, giving up 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, 4 strikeouts. After getting hit in the foot. Like Kurt Schilling's bloody sock game, except the bullpen blew it at the end. Yeah. Borderline pathetic. Rico Garcia. Well, excuse me. Woo. Rico Garcia, first man out of the pen, pitching the full 7th inning, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Cade Stroud, and this is really when it goes into the shitter. Cade Stroud, you're hoping at some point Cade Stroud can turn a corner and be a usable setup man for you. he flashes. At times he looks great, and at other times he just blows it. Cage Stroud starting out the 7th inning. Or is this the 8th inning. Starts the 8th inning, gets 2 outs in the 8th inning, but not before giving up 2 hits and a run. No walks, no strikeouts. It's not great. It's not great. So you get Aiken in there, probably a little earlier than you wanted to. Probably didn't even have enough time to warm up as much as he wanted. Of course, that's bad management, but whatever. However, Aiken getting the final out in the 8th inning and then getting 1 out in the 9th inning, all while giving up 2 hits and a run and a walk. Cano in to try to get the last 2 outs in the 9th inning before you give up the lead. Couldn't do it. So Cano only getting the 1 out in the 9th inning because Toronto Blue Jays walked it off. So you didn't even have to pitch a full game. So good job there. You don't have to waste all your bullets. Cano, again, in the 9th inning. He's had a few outings this year where he pitched fine in the 9th inning. But then here you go again, just like the same old Cano, can't do it in the damn 9th inning. Why? It's got to be mental. I mean, it's got to be a little bit mental. To a certain extent, his stuff has not played as well, I think, as it has a few years ago. It still plays okay, but can't get it done. Give up 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned run, no walks, no strikeouts. Let's go to the play-by-play here in the 9th. Keegan Aiken gets the first out. Cool. It's a single to shallow infield. Aiken fielding it, throws it away. So there you go, runner on base. Then you give up then you bring in Cano. To a certain extent, I guess you wanted to leave Aiken out there because of the lefties in the lineup. It's fine. I mean, it makes sense. I guess I struggle with using Cano in the 9th just because he hasn't been able to do it that much. He really hasn't. A few times, I guess really early September, when the bullpen was pitching really good, he was doing it. At least twice, right? But no, we're back to the same old Cano. Shit in the 9th. Maybe that's what we should call them now. Shit in the 9th. Then you give up a single. You push a man to third, so it's first and third. And then you get a pinch hitter here. Single. So now you got a first and third again with a run scoring. You give up another single. Now it's only first and second with a runner scoring. And then you get catcher interference. Which I guess I'm torn because the batter's box is so big. Do hitters take too much advantage of it and being back in the box? Yeah, I do think they do, because at the same time, how many times have you seen some of these backswings hit catchers? So maybe that's what I really don't like about the catcher's interference. You want to call an error on a catcher and award the hitter the base if he tips the glove of the catcher, but at the same time, you won't do anything if the batter hits the catcher with his bat on the follow-through of the swing. You do nothing. And to a certain extent, you do nothing when the hitter interferes with the catcher trying to throw if there's runners on or whatnot. Which, yes, it did happen. Okay, he stayed in the box. So, pitcher's not throwing a pitch. What does he have right to the box for? He don't. He shouldn't. Not if there's runners on base moving around. That's just an opinion. You shouldn't be allowed to interfere with a catcher. Because he's definitely hanging over the plate, interfering with the throw. Okay. You shouldn't be allowed to hang out of the batter's box. Well, I kept my feet in the batter's box. It's fine. Is it? Okay. I mean, if you want to say it is, then it is, I guess. So this catcher's interference loads the bases. And then a sacrifice fly wins the game. Yeah, that's wonderful. Great. And now for the blowout. Yeah, Baltimore is 2, Toronto Blue Jays 11. This one had a lot of, from what I could tell, I would say misplays by the defense. Not necessarily errors, but a few plays that they could have made and should have made, but for some reason are ruled tough plays and therefore awarding the offense with hits. Whatever, dude. Whatever. I petition to have some of these changed to errors. I'm sorry. If it's a ground ball in the infield and you miss it, it's an error. It's an error. I don't care who run it. Especially if it doesn't get out of the infield grass, or it's a little different because it's up there in Toronto, but if it doesn't actually get through the baselines and you miss the ball, yeah, it's an error. But that's okay. Don't call it an error. Whatever. Just because you don't want to give your Toronto boy a hit. Okay. However, Holiday 1 hit, Emmanuel Rivera pinch hitting late because it's a blowout. You might as well get Jackson Holiday out of there. Rivera 1 hit in his only plate appearance. Dylan Beavers hitting second again. Over. It was talked about a bit, and Tony Mansolino did bring up a nice point that you elevate some of these young guys in the order, it does put a little bit more pressure on them. Excuse me. Yes, makes sense. I'm not going to tell you that it doesn't make sense. It's just kind of disappointing that it worked out the way it did. And to a certain extent, maybe if it wasn't lefty, 3 straight lefties, it'd be a little different. But and I can't say that I really like that. If I suggested that I wanted Beavers moved up this far in the lineup, it's because you're either giving Holiday or Henderson a day off, or you're moving them down in the lineup. Not that I ever wanted 3 straight lefties like that. Just my opinion there. But Beavers, to a certain extent, the way he was handling himself at the plate, did deserve this to a certain extent. Now, it didn't go so well, so we'll see where he bats now. Beavers over, Henderson 1 hit and walked once. You see Mateo here, pinch hitting late. Again, blowout, get Gunnar Henderson out of there. Mateo over in his only plate appearance. Jeremiah Jackson moved down to the 4-hole. Okay. Okay. Part of the problem is you don't have enough right-handed bats in your damn roster. You don't have enough good right-handed bats on your damn roster. You got nothing but lefties as far as your good bats. Holiday, Henderson, or as far as your core players. Holiday, Henderson, Beavers, Basayo, Cowser. That's 5. Only 9 people in the lineup. Now, other guys like a Mayo maybe kind of need to step up a bit. Jeremiah Jackson has been doing fairly well, but can't necessarily play every day. Or you can't bat him in 2 or 3 different spots in the lineup at the same time anyway. Tyler O'Neill would be nice to get him back and get him going, but somewhat fresh off an injury, you don't want to push him too hard too fast. Kobe Mayo just isn't really coming through. Alex Jackson and Dylan Carlson are a bit more of role players, and to a certain extent, Alex Jackson, because he's a backup catcher, just isn't going to play that much. Because you don't want to do too many times of this, DH Basayo, and then also have Jackson in there, because then that, both your catchers are activated in the lineup at the same time. Maybe you should have a third catcher. Somewhat surprised they didn't go with that. Almost to a certain extent now, they might actually have a few too many position players between Mateo and Rivera for the infield. Now you got Carlson as a backup outfielder. Now what do you do with Jeremiah Jackson? I think maybe you really can't, though. I think because you have Jackson, you kind of need to dump Carlson, I think. I just feel you almost have too many hitters to get in the lineup. I don't know. Because now you got Tyler O'Neill back. So your starting outfield should be Cowser, Beavers, O'Neill. You want Jeremiah Jackson in there somewhere. Where does that go? Second base, third base, DH. Sure. What do you do when and or if Westberg ever comes back this year? Of course, to a certain extent, if Adley Rutschman ever does come back this year, might be... I mean, it probably would be Carlson going because he's the only one that really has options. Rivera doesn't have options. Mateo might. I'm not sure. But Carlson should have at least one more option. And he's not doing too much for you. And why I'm really okay with that and leaving Jeremiah Jackson as your fourth outfielder is because he's fast. It's not like it's O'Hearn out there that can barely get to a ball. I feel that Jeremiah Jackson's speed and his arm do make up for a lot of misplays. O'Hearn doesn't have that. Kjerstad didn't really have that. Now, Kjerstad had the arm strength. He didn't really have the arm accuracy. What the hell was I going to say? Mateo's another option in the outfield. Now, again, the speed makes up for everything. It's really the experience that they lack. So, it's a slightly different roster construction now. Where the fuck did I leave? I left off with Mateo. Jeremiah Jackson, you see him starting at third base and then moving to second. When Rivera comes in, Ofer, not liking the 4-hole. Basayo, Ofer, Mayo hit an RBI and a walk. The fuck? Okay. Cowser hitting an RBI. Dylan Carlson, Ofer, Alex Jackson, 2 hits. Mayo, Cowser with home runs. That's it. Albert Suarez gets a start in this game. Now this should be Kramer's turn in the rotation. So he really took this spot start for Kramer. Suarez able to go 3 full innings, does give up 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. Again, starting the game very well from a starting pitching standpoint. Now, Suarez got up to 53 pitches. Coming back from that shoulder injury, didn't really want to push him too much. Grant Wolfram in for the 4th inning. Not go as well as planned. Giving up 3 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. All the runs in this game were earned by the Blue Jays. Again, as I said, Henderson missed at least 1 ball he should have gotten to. And I say it has to be an error. I mean, it just sneaks right under his glove. Maybe if he wasn't playing shortstop like Lamar plays quarterback, maybe he would have been able to field it. But no, he doesn't ever want to stop on the infield. He wants to run around and make the plays while on the run the whole time. Okay. You get plays like that where you just miss him. Ball just sneaks right under your glove. Cool. Wonderful. What's this guy's name? Somebody Ragsdale. Carson Ragsdale. Haven't got a damn clue who this guy is. They picked him off on waivers a month or so ago. I don't even remember this guy's name being mentioned. Who is this guy? Okay. You wanted to be Carson Ragsdale? Fine. Go ahead. In his Orioles debut, pitching 3 full innings, which is nice. 80 pitches, 3 innings. That's not that great. Though he's able to do it. Again, you had several plays not made by a defense. Not necessarily errors, just plays that they could have made and just didn't. So again, 3 innings pitched for Ragsdale. Does give up 9 hits, 8 runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Wow. Yeah. Not great. See a big 6 spot in the 7th inning. That's really what it was. Why they tried to get more than 2 innings out of this guy, I don't know. I don't know much about him. But I feel like if a guy you just picked up just comes and gives you 2 innings, okay, he gave up 2 runs against the division leader, and you're the division seller, you probably should cut your losses. Probably. I think that would be a good idea. Cut your losses. Get somebody else in there. Well, and you don't have ends and you don't have Dubins. Because ends through mainly through 25 pitches. You probably should have been able to use ends. Right? Should have been able to use ends should have been available. Should have been. I guess it's really possible that he wasn't, but who the hell am I missing? Wolfram. So that's 5. 6. 7. Who the hell is missing? I can't keep some of these assholes straight. There's too many assholes out there in the bullpen. There's really too many. I feel like we're missing one guy. Right? Because there's 4 and then there's 6. And then I guess 7. Ragsdale was in there for... Oh, it's Suarez. No, that's everybody. Because Ragsdale in for Dubin. Spoiler alert. Yeah. Well, I mean, the ends, I guess, is really all you had available. I mean, you could have gone to some of these guys. Aiken only threw 12 pitches. Stroud only threw 14 pitches. You could have maybe given... because the pitch count was so low, I guess you could give them a chance to flush it quick. Hopefully, anyway. But at the same time, you don't have an off day for a bit. So, you're going to be hurting in the bullpen department. You really are. Very disappointing. But, you went with Ragsdale. Ragsdale had to kind of eat it for everybody. Oh, the Vasquez here, that's a position player. Oh, there's another position player. Because you got Emmanuel Rivera, Mateo, and Vasquez on the infield. Yet, you got to dump one of them. Maybe that's who... That's disappointing. Vasquez isn't getting no playing time. Yeah, I mean, I guess you just gotta decide. Well, you gotta figure out who has the options remaining. Does Vasquez or Carlson have options remaining? If it's Vasquez, send him down. Just anyone to get him off the roster anyway, because you're not using him. You're using Mateo or you're using Rivera more. You're barely using Vasquez. As a late inning pitcher, that's when you're using Vasquez. He's probably getting more innings as a damn relief pitcher than he is as a damn position player. What is he on the roster for? Get you a third catcher. Could help you for pinch hitting scenario. Because you notice some of these other games, no defensive replacement or pinch hitters. Which is surprising in this area of Orioles baseball. Because they seem to do that a lot. Again, Vasquez here, I'll say his line. 1 full inning pitched, the 8th inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Should have started him. Can they change his position to pitcher? They might as well. What's the worst that could happen? He injured himself? Everybody else seems to be on his damn team. I mean, I don't know if some of it is because these games are blowouts or it's just the way he pitches. Keep doing it. I mean, as many outs as he's getting for you? Tough to say. All right, let's get to a few of these articles and get out of here. Yeah. Sean Dubin. What was it? Shoulder inflammation or elbow inflammation or something stupid like that. Yay. Woo! So yeah, Sean Dubin on the injured list and Ragsdale recalled. Hey, more injuries! Woohoo! The article written by Rock Kabatko. This article here also written by Rock Kabatko, talking about a few updates on where was the McDermott thing? I don't remember which article the McDermott thing was in. It was in one of these. I'll get to that in a bit. Rutschman getting close to starting a rehab assignment, which is honestly it's concerning. Holy shit. You strained one oblique, and then you strained the other one, and you're still on the shelf. Really? The hell is going on with you? I mean, as young as he is, how is he still on the shelf with this? Yeah, I guess that looks right over there. How is he still on the shelf with this oblique thing? How? Okay. Kramer and Sagano, at least the plan right now is for them to make their next starts. Kramer arm feeling better, or just forearm. Excuse me. Feeling fine. Of course, it's not coming up for another 4 or 5 days or however long it is. It's not like it's coming up tomorrow. It's in several days for Kramer and Sagano again because he just pitched. It should be not until the Yankee series, right? Because they're doing a 6-man rotation. So it should be Bradish and then Wells and Povich. Should be who's up next. Right? Because who the fuck started in these other games? Rogers, Sagano, and that would be Kramer's spot. So yeah, I guess it should be Bradish, Wells, and Povich. This shouldn't be for a whole nother series here, which is fine. Plan again, just a tentative plan. We're not saying for sure because we don't know what's going to happen in the next 3 days. Plan is for them to be fine. McDermott. We're going to talk about Chase McDermott here. Got a few more numbers on McDermott. He's had a few more outings since the last time, and I only mentioned it because the decision was to call up Ragsdale and not to call up McDermott, who has pitched on his team before and who has pitched in this organization. Ragsdale coming from somewhere else. I mean, contract status, being a waiver claim. You're probably running out of time to figure out whether you want to keep Ragsdale around or not. And I guess you got more time with McDermott. But McDermott, again, it was in one of these articles, but it was written by Rock Kabatko giving an update on what McDermott has been doing overall down there, pitching out of the bullpen for AAA. 14 innings pitched, only 2 runs. That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I got to say that's good. Now, I know what people were saying, is AAA really a good judge? Well, you got to think about it like this. If pitchers are the one that are injured, then it's not a really good judge for hitters because they're facing AA or single A pitchers when they're in AAA. But are you, as a pitcher, facing AAA hitters? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's still where we're at. So, it's kind of surprising. I get it. You wanted to see if Ragsdale could be anything for you. I guess I feel like you should have given your own man another shot. Especially when he's been pitching well down there. But it's fine. Let's get to the schedule. Get the hell out of here. And it's still fixed. Good job. Alright, today, Monday, going to Chicago, playing the White Sox. No rest for the wicked. Monday, tonight's game scheduled 7:40. Tuesday's game scheduled 7:40 p.m. Wednesday's game scheduled to 10 p.m. And then home for a 4-game set with the New York Yankees. Yay! So that's going to do it for this edition of Ryno's Orioles Report. Please stay tuned for Thursday, and I will discuss the series between the Baltimore Orioles and the Chicago White Sox. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm the Angry Ryno, and this is Birdland.